Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Chess DNA. And if you really hate your opponents in chess and sometimes you just want to spear them, don't do that. That will be an illegal move and you won't get no warning for that. You might get kicked out of the tournament hall or even get banned for life. That's even worse. So don't do that. Instead, skewer them and make them leave the tournament hall, because skewer is a tactic you must know, and I'm sure you must be missing this kind of tactic in your games or might be getting a victim to these kind of tactics. So some of you might know what a skewer is, but do you really know how to execute it or how to find it or the methodology to locate it and spot it on the board is what this video is all about. So stick to the end if you really think you can execute skewer. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it. So what a skewer is, ladies and gentlemen, is that when two high valued pieces are standing in the same diagonal, the same rank, or the same file, you first of all identify that and attack the higher valued piece so that it moves away, and then you grab the less valued piece that was hiding behind it. So in a way, it's basically reversed pin. In a pin, which will be the subject of my next video, by the way, is where you attack a less valued piece and it cannot move because a more high valued piece is residing behind it. A skewer is like a reverse pin. For example, in this case, the queen is on the c6 square and the rook on b7 square, and we identify that they're on the same diagonal. And we have a bishop that can attack the queen. So queen is a more high valued piece. It has to move away, and then we simply win the rook. So bishop c6, queen moves away, and we grab the rook. The second exercise is when we spot the skewer on the same file, the queen and the rook on the same file, and we have a way to attack the queen. For example, rook to d2. And if queen moves anywhere else, we will just take the rook, rook takes, and then queen takes. The rook would be leading towards at least winning of a lot of material, if not checkmate. So opponent has to give up the queen here, and we don't take back with the queen because the rook is still defending it. We take with the bishop and solve this exercise like this. The third one, again, you can pause and try to solve this one, is a very pretty one where we don't have a direct skewer, but we set it up. How do we set it up? For example, we identified the bishop and the rook are on the same diagonal, and if we sacrifice our rook on the e4 square, it drags the queen to the e4 square, setting up a skewer on the light square diagonal here, bishop c6, winning the rook in the corner. And these three were the relative skewers because we were attacking the queen, making the queen move away, and winning the piece that was behind the queen. Now the next five are called the absolute skewers, when we are not attacking the queen but the king. So the king has to move away from the check, and then we just simply pick another high valued piece behind the king. So the poor queen is hiding behind the king here, so we give a check to the king, which is bishop defending by the queen, and now we just simply grab the queen and we are up in material. The second one is when we identify the king and queen being on the same diagonal once again, but anytime we give this queen c3 check, the king might just move to like g6 or f7 and still defend the queen. So is there a way to drag the king away from the queen, however still keeping the king and the queen on the same diagonal? Well, there is. So we just sack the bishop on the e5 square, driving the king away, still keeping them on the same diagonal though. Now queen c3 check wins the queen, an important pattern to remember in the king and queen endgames. The next one is when we see that we have extra material. For example, we have equal number of queens, but we have a rook for the bishop. So if we are able to trade material in a way that force a queen trade, we should be winning the game because rook will be more superior to the bishop. So how can we force a queen trade in this kind of situation? First of all, we just look some checks, and rook to a7 check, king moves away, then our queen is under attack. We might win the pawn on f7 here, but the queen has counterplay. Queen e1 check, king h2, and then there is this f3 move, and then this is bishop discover check, and this does not look right. So we reverse the move order and first take on f7, queen takes, and now we identify king and queen once again on the same rank, setting up another skewer. So rook to a7 check and picks up the queen, and now rook versus bishop is winning for white. And this one is very pretty because we see that some pieces could sometimes be immune to captures because of the possibility of a skewer. For example, the king and queen are the same diagonal, so we just start with queen h6 check. king goes to d7, and now we want to give this queen g7 check, but we are worried about king takes knight. Are we losing a free piece here? Not really, because then the king and the queen will be on the same diagonal. So queen g7 check, king goes, captures the knight, and now they're on the same diagonal. So queen to f8, picking up the queen on a3, winning the queen. Now, this final exercise is the most pretty one out of all these. And if you're able to solve this one, do comment and let me know, because I will stand up and salute for you, because this one is really, really pretty to solve. So you can pause and try to solve this one. And let me know in the comments if you do so. And guys, please subscribe to the channel if you keep wanting to learn these tactical patterns. And I'm going to keep bringing more of these kind of tactical pattern exercises and basically share all the secrets with you that will help you become a strong player in very less time. So here the trick is to attack the queen, and again setting up a skewer. For example, we see that can we attack the queen by going to the a8 square? We can't, because queen just takes it. Or can we? Because then the king and the queen will be in the same diagonal, and we can simply skewer once again. So if we attack the queen, queen does not have this square because bishop covers it. It cannot go to like e6 square, because again it sets up a skewer threat. So queen cannot afford to be on the same diagonal, same file, or the same rank as the king. Similarly, queen cannot go here, because again on the d5 square it gets skewered. So queen, if it goes to the c4 square, remember our rook is on a8, so we will just go to c8 and skewer that way. And what happens if queen goes to h7 square or the a2 square? So I'll talk about the a2 square. So if rook a8, queen goes to a2, then we capture this pawn on a4, again attack the queen, and the queen has nowhere else to go. Again, if you take the rook, the bishop squares from behind this time and wins the queen. So again, the queen is really out of squares. So one last question for you guys. If rook a8 and queen would have gone to h7. So this is the question I'm posing to you. Do let me know in the comments if you find it out, because if queen takes the rook, we skewer and win the queen. But what would have really happened if after this queen would have gone to h7 is your problem to solve, and let me know in the comments. So do subscribe to Chess DNA if you want more of these, and I will see you in the next video with another tactical pattern. I will be covering all the fundamental tactics that are available and all the advanced tactics that are available for us to learn and use them into our games and make ourselves stronger players and recognize these patterns in the actual games. So I'll be coming more of that for you guys, so don't forget to subscribe. See you guys in the next video.